welcome to my channel. This is Nat from Nat's Narrative, and I thought it would be really fun to have a bit of a seasonal reset just so that I can do some organizing and get in the mood for fall. There's a few things that I want to do in this video, but the main ones are to reorganize the bookshelf behind me as well as my TBR book cart. So I want to move things around and kind of do a different method of organization at this point. I also don't have any romance books in this bookshelf, but I do want to make some room over here for the most recent romance books that I've owned. I also want to do some baking. There is a box of pumpkin spice muffins in the pantry that has my name on it, so I want to do that on this video, as well as some decorating. It's not going to be a lot because I don't really have that many decorations. It's a pitiful amount really, but I do want to get at some point more stuff throughout the season, but that's not going to be in this video. I was also thinking of maybe if I have time doing some crafts. I saw on Pinterest this little mirror that had ghost painted on it with like acrylic paint, and I have a tiny mirror that I think would be perfect for that. So if we have time, I might do that as well. As for my TBR for this season, I've actually been compiling a list since late August of all of the books that I want to read, all the TV shows and movies I want to watch. So I will be sharing that list with you guys as well on this video. Okay, I think I've done enough talking for now, so let's get this seasonal reset started. already, but I already reorganized my bookshelves. I did the little DIY project, and also seen me take all of the books off the shelves and then clean the shelves. But yeah, these are basically all the books I want to fit here. I brought all of the romance books that I had on my other shelf, and these are the books that I need to find space over there in my pink bookshelf, and that's going to be hard. Anyway, I'm going to be changing the lighting because I totally lost the sun, and also I'm gonna push you back so that you can see the entire bookshelf, or at least most of it. If you see stacks of books here and you think that I kinda already planned out how to organize this, you are mistaken. These books have been like this for 2 days and I still honestly don't know how I'm going to organize this. So we're gonna figure that out together. Anyway, the only thing that I know for sure so far is that this shelf is going to be a romance. So I'm gonna get started there and I'm gonna decorate it and everything, and then we'll go from there. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. Okay, I really do like the look of the Flock of the Air / Holly Black plus the Raven Cycle together. It tickles my brain to have these together. However, I don't know how I feel about the like short paperback and then tall books and then short paperback and then tall books. I'll keep playing with this shelf. I'm also not super convinced about either of these two. I changed it, okay? Was I recording? I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. What I do know is that I am obsessed with this shelf over here. Yes, it is seasonal and therefore I'm going to have to change it basically in December, right? However, I don't care. I love how this looks. I am obsessed. I am so unsure about the rest of this, but this I do know that I love. I actually am obsessed with this shelf. I love the colors, the white, the like purple, a little bit of blue. I think it all ties perfectly together, and honestly this iridescent vase thingy, perfect. Okay, so I put the Queen of Nothing here in the meantime, just so that I could see how it looks with like everything in there. I am leaving a space here just for now so that I can kind of visualize when I do buy the Prisoner's Throne. This I am obsessed with. I wish that more fantasy books came in like white because gorgeous. Anyway, we gotta move on to the rest of these. I'm back. I do have to say that this is my favorite version of my bookshelf that I've ever done. I am absolutely obsessed with how it turned out. But yeah, this is going to be the part of the video where I share my TBR with you guys. I don't know if I said this before, but I've been building my TBR since late August, so at this point it went past ambitious and into delusional. Still, I decided to kind of divide the list by my must reads of the season, and then I have a bunch of hopefuls that, you know, if I do end up getting to them, that's amazing, but I will most likely not be able to read all of them. I hope you guys don't mind, but I'm going to be having the iPad here with me at certain points because I tend to ramble a lot, and I made sure to have an outline planned so that I can avoid that as much as possible. We're going to start with the book that I absolutely have to read this season, not only this season but in the next 2 weeks. This is Butcher and Blackbird by Brian Weaver. This is the book that my book club chose for the month, so absolutely have to read this before the 24th of the month because I am actually hosting our meeting this time, and yeah, gotta read this. Every serial killer needs a friend. Every game must have a winner. When a chance encounter sparks an unlikely bond between rival murderers Sloane and Rowan, the two find something elusive: the friendship of a like-minded, pitch-black soul. This is supposed to be a dark romance comedy. I have absolutely no idea what that is supposed to mean, but I am very excited to dive into this and then share all of my thoughts with the book club and with you guys, of course. Another book that I'm absolutely going to be reading this season is going to be The Fall of the House of Usher by Edgar Allan Poe. This is technically a short story, but I did just recently buy a book that has that story as well as others by the author. The book is arriving in a couple of days, so I don't have it here with me at this point, but let me just read you what this is about, according to Goodreads. The Fall of the House of Usher recounts the terrible events that befell the last remaining members of the once illustrious Usher clan before it is, quite literally, rent asunder. I've never really read anything by Edgar Allan Poe, but I watched the show that is inspired by this story and I love it a lot. I love everything that Mike Flanagan does, like The Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor, so I decided to give the original source material a chance. Next on the list is The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. If this is the first video that you've watched from me, you should definitely go check my other videos, but my first ever reading vlog was me finishing her book, A Novel Love Story, which I gave 5 stars to. I loved it, so I'm very excited for this one. As far as I know, this book is about a romance ghostwriter who has just had like a really bad breakup or something happened in her love life that has made her kind of a cynic and she doesn't really believe in love anymore, which is causing her some trouble in her work because she's supposed to be ghostwriting romance, right? She has this new editor and he's not really willing to extend her deadline. She gets the news that her dad actually passed away, so she has to go back to her hometown. She hasn't been there in a long time, and her family actually runs a funeral home. So that's the setting for the book, a funeral home, right? So spooky, but okay. Until she finds a ghost standing at the funeral parlor's front door, just as broad and infuriatingly handsome as ever, and he's just as confused about why he's there as she is. Romance is most certainly dead, but so is her new editor. That is going to be such a fun read. The next book is going to be Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. I haven't read anything by this author before either, but I've seen a lot of people on Bookstagram reading this book and they seem to be loving it, so I'm very excited about it. The book is about a small town haunted by secrets that can stay buried and the sinister house that sits at the crossroads of it all. Opal knows better than to mess with haunted houses or brooding men, but an unexpected job offer might be a chance to get her brother out of Eden. Too quickly though, Starling House starts to feel dangerously like something she's never had, a home. I've been promised a house that is not necessarily haunted, but kind of alive. And if I don't get that, I'm gonna be so angry. last book that I absolutely have to read this season, yes or yes, is going to be The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. This is the third book in the Folk of the Air trilogy. I am most likely going to be getting to this in like early December, just because I'm giving priority to like all of the spooky books first. Okay, as for the hopefuls, I kind of divided them by the ones that I have downloaded on Kindle Unlimited, so I technically have them. And then I have another section for audiobooks. These books, I don't have them all. I only get 15 hours per month on Spotify, so I'm only going to be able to listen to 2 or 3 more audiobooks this season. I also have this book stack of books that I've had in my TBR card for a long time and I haven't read them yet, and they're all kind of go with the season, so I'll just mention them really quick. I've got A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I've also got Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. Gillian? I'm gonna say Gillian. If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. Then we have The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. Then we have All of Us Villains by Amanda Foody and Christine Lynn Herman. I'm gonna start with the ones that I'm currently reading. I started Her Spell That Binds Me by Luna Oblensky. A couple of days ago, I kind of paused it at 13% while I read another one, but I do want to get back to this. This is a Regency era sapphic romantasy, okay? It takes place at a magic school for witches, only female witches, and there is supposed to be a magic competition in the book. The other book that I'm currently reading is Pumpkin Spice and Poltergeist. This is sapphic, cozy, Halloween town-ish book. And by that, I mean it takes place in this small touristy town that is kind of all Halloween themed. The book starts with this witch and she summons the spirit of her ex-girlfriend because she died in an accident and they never really had a chance to say goodbye. After they have a little bit of an argument, the spirit of the ex-girlfriend tries to move on to the afterlife but realizes she's stuck. She believes that in order for her to move on, she needs to help her ex, the witch, to move on and find love, right? So she's playing matchmaker with this other human girl that just arrived into town. It's really mostly just like a cozy romance between a witch and a human. I forgot to say, the town isn't just like a touristy trap. Yes, it is that, but also like actual witches live in the town. There's also werewolves, vampires, demons, and all kind of paranormal creatures living in there. Moving on to books that I haven't read, but I do have downloaded them. The first one is What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. This is supposed to be a retelling of The Fall of the House of Usher. It's also a novella. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to read the original story by Edgar Allan Poe once it comes in the mail, and then I'm going to be reading this novella. We also have Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli. I don't know. I really don't know much about this book. I've seen it all over Instagram. What I do think I know is that this book is about a witch vigilante that hunts witch hunters, right? And there's an enemies to lovers kind of thing going on between the witch and one of the witch hunters. That's all I know. I don't know anything else, but it does sound really interesting. Then I have Here in Red by Nicole Maser. This is a zombie apocalypse book, okay? And I love The Walking Dead so much. I've seen it so many times. I've never actually finished the show. I always kind of get stuck around the 7th season. If you know, you know. This book is also has a sapphic romance, and based on what I read, the book, I do think it's kind of inspired by The Walking Dead, really. Basically, one of the characters has been really lucky because she actually lived in this very safe, close community when the apocalypse happened. So she's stayed there with her family and with the rest of the community, and they've kind of just survived without coming across like a big group of zombies or a group of people, right, that want to take what they have. So kind of like if you've watched The Walking Dead, Alexandria. And then the other character, she seems to be kind of not necessarily based off of anyone from the show, but she has a father that is the leader of this group, and they seem to be kind of like, you know, Negan and his group. So yeah, very excited about this one. I love anything that has to do with like a zombie apocalypse when it comes to TV shows or movies, but I've actually don't think I've ever read any books that are about a zombie apocalypse. The last ebook that I have on the list is Forest of Dreams and Whispers by, I can't read it, I'm sorry, Catherine MacDonald. All I know is that people that read it told me that it had a folk of the air vibe, mostly in the sense that the characters kind of reminded them of Jude and Carden and kind of like their dynamic. So I immediately said, sold. Moving on to audiobooks. The first one is An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. I've seen this one described as a dark academia. It does have a sapphic, like academic rivals to lovers relationship going on. And there is something about vampires. I don't really know. But yeah, supposedly vampires. Next is An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. This is also supposed to be a fae plus human romance. The human, her trade is to paint portraits of the fae, and in payment, instead of like giving her coin or whatever, they give her enchantments, whatever that means. Then we have The Invocations by Crystal Sutherland. She wrote House of Hollow, which is one of my favorite spooky books, and that is enough reason for me to want to listen to this book this season. Next we have Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I've wanted to read this for a while now, and I just kept putting it off, but this season would be a great season to listen to the audiobook. I would just like to say that I had a lot of time filming this seasonal reset. I really do believe that cleaning and reorganizing things, maybe changing or exchanging the decor that I have out in my room, helps me so much to stay motivated in like my personal life and academic life, as well as with the reading and with the staying creative and creating content. If you enjoyed this video and you want to watch more of me, I do have 2 other videos as of now. I am a new channel, so I would really appreciate if you guys would take a moment to like this video and leave a comment, and of course subscribe. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!